becoming top stars. Becoming upstarts.
Could the many myths of real estate be costing us a great deal?
Real time.
I'm Wendy Clare of Juge Interiors. Today on Meet the Agent podcast, we meet Vipul Nagji of Informed Buyers to bust some of those myths.
We're becoming top stars. Becoming upstarts.
Vipul, thanks for joining us. You've given me a heads up. You're not keen on any fun questions. You're a very logical person.
Yeah, I'm very logical. So I can't compare myself to anyone. If you did, it'd be the rap artist Biggie Smalls. But even then, why?
Okay, that's fair enough. Hang on though, what artist? What?
Yeah. This is dedicated to all the sellers that told me I'd never buy nothing.
Do you know Notorious B.I.G.?
To all the people that lived above the buildings that called the cops on me. When I was just trying to buy the house. And all the real estate agents in the struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he's a rap artist.
It's all
and
good.
yeah, I love his
Okay.
I love his lyrics.
But it doesn't mean it's what you're like, so I get it.
No, I resonate a little bit because he came from the hood, came from a sort of poor background.
It was all a dream. I used to read the real estate magazine.
And then has made his way with some success, but I just love the way he uses his lyrics, and they're quite shocking at times if you hear that sort of portray his point. But generally, those sort of questions are I can't tell you my favorite movie. Name me three things about you. Blah, 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 blah.
I get it. I'm trying to get a sense of your style, I suppose, because where the question came from is, if I was a buyer, I wouldn't know where to start if I had to think, I need to find an agent. And my natural reaction would probably be to find someone that I gel with a little bit, or I kind of feel like I fit their style. Do you find that with your clients? Is there a personality that you'd work with better? Or do you have the ability to work with anyone?
I think my background allows me to work with people from all walks of life.
What's that background? Tell me a bit more about that.
So I come from a working class family. My parents were migrants. They moved to the UK in the late 60s, 1970. I was born in the UK. My parents both worked, so I kind of sort of just worked, figured things out like myself. So I'd go out to play on the streets. So I'd go out to play pretty much every day from the age of 9.
Playing what?
Play on the streets, so literally hang out on the street with a football or get up to whatever adventure, let's call it, was next. So I had a lot of autonomy. I came home when it was dark, and that could be really late at night in summer. So I could quite easily have gone down another path, right? I was always encouraged to study. I got that pretty late, but I got through, education, and I ended up going to university and meeting a whole host of people from all different walks of life. And then I went traveling and I met other people from all walks of life. I went through a corporate career, and you meet all different sorts. So, I kind of feel I connect with lots of different people. And I actually care quite a lot for others, surprisingly. It's not a normal human behavior to want to help others and care for others, and that's something that I bring into the business.
So that's why you're a buyer's agent rather than a seller's agent, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I could ever be a seller's agent. First thing first, I joke with seller's agents and I say, well, you have to sell anything, all right? Whereas I get to choose what we buy. I need to buy a piece of crap, basically. They might need to sell something that's poor or not desirable. But totally, the reason why I became a buyer's agent is because I like helping others, and I'm very good with money and finance. So I would love to have been a financial coach, but there's a fine line between financial coach and financial advice. Financial advice is highly regulated. You tell people what to do. With coaching, you guide people. And for me, then it was like, well, what is the most important part of people's finances and wealth trajectory? Well, actually, it's their home or their investment property. And even if they don't own one, it's their desire to own a home or an investment property. So if I can help you with probably one of the biggest and most important financial decisions, and that's plural with regards to wealth, then you can have all my other financial coaching with it, because I am a chartered accountant. I have worked in the investment management industry for 23 years. I am a professional investor. I have investments today in cash through to Bitcoin and everything in between. And I have quite a, substantial allocation to property. And property is what I know, really well. I've been buying property for over 25 years now. And I still own the first home or investment that I purchased. But I've bought and sold many in between. So that was probably a big driver for me, was helping others and being able to value add with some financial coaching to help you make good decisions.
Right. So yeah, it's that real kind of advocacy role, isn't it, that is fitting well with you. What's your superpower in a sense?
Look, I don't know if I have superpowers, but one thing that I think really helps as a buyer's agent and helped me over the since through the tenure of my business is my ability to put clients' interests before my own. And that's very, very easy to say, but human beings find it difficult to put people before themselves. Pretty much anyone in a brokerage commission style structure, and even in funds management where I spent 23 years, right? Who we would deem as sophisticated investors, real professionals who understand and know what they're doing. We are all conflicted when you're in a brokerage business. So whose interest are you working on? Are you working on your client's interest or your own interest? Are you concerned about the food that you're putting on the table for your family? Or are you interested in delivering, a supreme client outcome? And pretty much always anyone in a commission brokerage type business where they earn a fee regardless of the client outcome, whether it's a good price, a bad price, or an investment speak, a high return or a low return, they still earn, right? So I think it's quite a skill to be able to put your client before you.
Is a buyer's agent getting a commission based on the value of the buy? So if the price is higher for the buyer, that buyer's agent is earning more money?
Totally. But if you think of it from a buyer's agent's perspective, right? Say they're earning a $20,000 fee, and if they pay a bit more, they earn $21,000, right? And they pay a bit less, they earn $19,000. Do they really care?
If it was my father, he'd care.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, I guess I'm just poking the question, though, that there is a saying that everyone has a price. And maybe they don't care at that level, but when they get up to bigger figures,
Sure.
they care.
So, do they really care is the question I'd put out there. And honestly, I don't think they care whether it's 19, 20 or 21. Whether it's 1.9 million, 2 million or 2.1 million and the associated fee of that, their concern is maybe getting a fee, right? And for me, it's not about getting a fee. It's about getting a client outcome.
Right.
Is that they're ecstatic, with the price and what they've purchased.
You're
the fee
getting
just
jobs,
sorts itself out.
You're
right?
getting job satisfaction in other ways other than financially is what it's about, really, isn't it?
So yeah, totally. I get satisfaction because I love helping.
Which is good.
Others. I absolutely love it. Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. But I had a client the other day on a percentage fee structure, willing to pay X, and we bought it for, well under X, right? Well under X. We're not concerned about earning a little fee above. We want our clients to, the right outcome for our clients. And it actually helps us longer term because they go and spread that word out in the marketplace. And we're one of the fortunate buyer's agents who don't have to prospect call or call outwards to try and win business. Our phone rings. You know, our phone rings, and it rings for a reason, because of our reputation. You know, like, people talk about us, and they talk about us positively. They're only going to do that when you deliver, you know, outstanding results, not good results, not average results, but outstanding ones.
Right.
And that's, you know, that's where it makes the difference. But
Because otherwise people are going to say, I could have done that myself.
correct. Yeah, totally. Like, we are so conscious about our fee and delivering a value way above, like totally, you know, way above our fee. You know, I'm talking about multiples. And we don't want to earn a fee unless we're delivering, you know, and can justify that fee, and ideally multiples of that fee, right? So anyone who was concerned about a percentage structure and us paying more and earning a little bit more, I'll fix the fee. And then it doesn't matter whether we pay more or less in their eyes. And pretty much 80% of the time we've done that, we've always bought under where we've set that fee at.
Wow.
There's a proof in point. And, you know, I could take you through, you know, our track record and show you where that was. It's, what does the client want? Can we get that for a really good price? And do they know what they're buying? Because a lot of people go out there, they don't know what they're looking for. As in, they don't know what they're buying, I should say. You know, they know what they're looking for, but do they know what they're buying? Do they know the risks? You know, has it been, you know, mapped out for them? And then they can make you know, an informed decision when they have that information at hand, and we can price that information at hand. So, you know, going back to that example the other day, our client was willing to pay 150,000 more than we secured the asset for. In fact, in the example I used last week, he was willing to pay 80,000 more than we secured it for. We know of other buyers who paid the top of their budget, and we see and witness that, and it makes us sad. They're also not helping us because they're raising the prices of assets which should be lower, right?
I was thinking that at an auction, you must have an urge to go and tap people on the shoulder and say, oh, by the way, do you know that floorboard's rotted, or something like that?
Sure.
I mean, seriously, it
Sure.
must be difficult.
Yeah, we certainly have that urge, but we have to keep our mouth shut from a professional standpoint.
Okay, so it's a myth that all real estate agents are sharks.
There's a lot of myths out there in the industry.
What comes to mind as the myth that gets under your skin the most, that drives you mad?
Yeah, I won't say it drives me mad, but I want Torrance title, not strata, owning your own piece of land.
It's the Australian dream, right? To have your own land.
Yeah.
Simply that, with
And I
the
think that's a
picket fence.
global dream. The king of your castle. No one's telling me what I can and can't do on my land. If you buy in strata, you only own the airspace. You don't own the walls, the windows.
This is even worse than you can't pick your neighbours, because you can't pick your strata committee either, and they've got even more control over your actual home than your neighbour.
And I think that's the issue with most people, and I get that. I understand that, right? I understand that. But the one that bugs me more is that actually I will do better financially from buying a Torrance title.
Okay, so the myth is that you're better off having the Torrance title, owning every square inch of your own land.
Because they
Red bats and
grow,
all.
they grow, yes, they grow at a faster rate than strata units or townhouses.
Okay, the myth
Right.
is
But they don't
better
grow.
investment.
They don't necessarily grow at the same higher rate. So what people are doing is they're looking at headline numbers. So the headline numbers are this: the all house price growth in the last 10 years has been 84%. The all units price growth has been less than half, 38%. So then you conclude, I'm going to get better capital growth by buying a house as opposed to a unit. But when you lift the layers off the data, well, the units include, you know, boutique apartment blocks to high-rise apartments, you know, high-density living. So now we're talking about, you know, high-rise apartments in St Leonard's or North Ryde, or Zetlands has had, you know, a lot of high-density living, Sydney Olympic Park, for example. And yes, there, those units don't perform as well because there's nothing unique about them. One unit is very similar to the unit next door, or the unit to the above or below, or the building next door, or building to the left, right or right.
So when people talk about the units, they're not talking about swanky pads that Nicole Kidman's bought in North Sydney. We're talking about the density, the new housing, etc.
Yeah, correct.
That
correct.
are not going to
and they can still be swanky, but they still might not perform at the same time, right? So capital growth, and this is where the myth comes in. Capital growth is driven by features that are desirable. Orientation, parking, floor plan, outlook, how many stairs are there versus level off the street or via a lift. These are the features that are desirable, and the more scarce they are, the more valuable they are. You could buy a house, which is Torrens title, but on the main road, which has major compromise, or need a renovation, or have too many steps to access the home, or be on a slope. That's what I'm going to call, a compromised home. The alternative might be buying something that's ready to live in, has the features that you want, has the conveniences. And you've got to bear in mind, we are talking about the inner city here. The city is urbanizing. So more and more strata living will become more normal. It's already normal, but even more normal from those who fear it.
We're seeing a myth really where people are generalizing that having your own plot of land is the Australian dream, it's heaven, it's great. And they're forgetting that, no, it might not be. You've got the redbacks. It might be a really dumpy block of land. And there might be a really great alternative of a somewhat swanky apartment instead. So you can't be generalizing that land is going to appreciate or be a better investment.
Yeah.
The other myth is we want off-market. Some people think off-markets are a bargain.
When you say we, you meaning buyers or sellers, or it doesn't matter?
Buyers want to source off-markets.
Okay, they want the inside deal, right?
Yeah, that's right. But is the question, is it a deal? Is it a special? And I think you treat an off-market like you would an on-market. You still inspect the property, make sure the space works, is the floor plan good?
I see where this is going. There's an expression, with friends like these, who needs enemies?
Yeah.
Is that the problem with the off-market deal?
Yeah, well, look, we buy a disproportionate amount off-market, but it has to be the right price and the right property and home for our client. 90% of the off-market homes that we come across our desk or in our radar are typically overpriced. They're chasing a higher number. There's lots of reasons for people wanting to sell off-market. That's another thing a lot of buyers don't understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, so homes are being overpriced because of a pressure to buy or sell quickly. That must be something about this myth that you need to sell before you buy, or is it the myth that you should buy before you sell? Can you explain that for us? What should you do first? And give us a real life example.
So last week we think we got a good deal for a client, and the scenario was this. The vendor wants to buy something and upsize to a family home in a different suburb. They don't want to be out of the market, so they don't want to sell their home and then look for a home because the prices may run away from them or go up considerably. Also, they might not want to move twice. The Sydney property market, the way it's structured, means you move twice or you feel under pressure and probably buy the wrong thing.
Oh.
Right? Because if you sell your home, you give up your keys on the date of settlement, whether you have a place to live or not. It's not like England where we have a chain, and that has advantages and disadvantages, because if anyone in the chain breaks, the whole thing collapses. So it's great in the sense that we're quite a liquid market here. You get your money within 12 weeks. So you can sell your property, with a 4-week campaign, 2 weeks to get it
Just
ready,
like
and
our
6 weeks.
election, it's overnight. There's none of this inauguration in 6 weeks business. Prime Minister moves out.
Yeah,
We're done.
Done, 100%. Yes, you give up your keys, you're done. Move out.
Bye.
Right? Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't want to move twice. We encourage our clients that come on board to think about renting. You can always break a lease. It ain't going to cost you 4 weeks rent. That's nothing compared to the magnitude of the amounts we're talking about. But of course, the disruption and the hassle of moving twice is a big thing. You're not going to overpay significantly because of that convenience. Right. But what we're very good at then is we've got a motivated buyer. Go and buy them the thing that they really like for a great price. And we will align settlement date. And we do that so much.
What's the myth that sellers are taught?
Sell in spring, and I think that stems from your house presenting better in spring. But if you've got a good home and you're a seller, then sell it in winter, because there'll be less competition for other houses at the same time, right? But in winter, year on year, we seem to see lower volumes, but we still have clients. We still have motivated buyers, and if they're not our clients, there's other buyers out there that are motivated. So why not take advantage of that if you're a seller?
Tell me what people are looking for or what you think about colour when you're looking at interiors. Are there any myths there?
When you go into a property, typically, if it's been prepared to go on a marketing campaign, then it's been styled and it's been painted. And the choice of colour is typically white, right? Because if you paint something white, it feels bright, it feels more like it has more natural light, and you can then accessorize with that.
I'd say it also feels very clean too, which when you're buying something that's not a new home, you want to feel like it's a new home. You're not buying a used home like a used jumper. It's new and clean and fresh.
That's right, yeah. So, a freshly painted home in white feels new. And often they'll replace the carpets to new, and it kind of transforms a place, those two things, right? Colour is important, but staying neutral with the colour there. So to appeal to kind of all buyer groups. I think white would appeal to all buyer groups because you can do so much with it, with the accessories and the way you style it.
You're wanting to ideally find something that's got that background, those neutral colours, not having to repaint if they don't want. So does that mean the places you're looking at should be all neutral?
No, not at all. So with paint for walls and carpet or hard flooring for floors, we shouldn't care. It's about the space. So can we see through the space? It's very easy to paint the walls, very easy to change the floors. However, your bathroom and your kitchen are not easy to change. So there, if we see, forgive me for saying, but if we see a black kitchen, it doesn't appeal to us. Right? And I don't think it appeals to all buyer groups, right? There are some who are not going to want a black kitchen. And to change a black kitchen, it's going to be quite a costly exercise. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
So getting that right is important. From a buyer's perspective, it's like, look, we're gonna flag that, right?
Absolutely.
And there we are looking for something a bit more neutral. We are looking for something that other buyers will want because you want to create value. You don't want to have to redo your kitchen.
The idea of colour, there is a bit of a rule that's often stated in houses for sale, make it all neutral. But is that a myth then? Is colour really polarising, or is that okay to have in a home?
To add colour into a home, if you're selling a home, you probably want to make it white and neutral.
For the fixtures you're talking about, but not for everything. Does it matter about like the furnishings that are put in there?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think like when you're looking at home and the way it's styled or the way it's presented, colour makes a big difference. And the important thing is it appealing to you, and would it be appealing to others? For me, it's very scientific, it's very investment driven, you know, it's about value at the end of the day. Then once you've bought the home, I highly recommend you bring in an interior designer to style and finish the home the way you would like it to look and function.
Absolutely.
Right? And the only recommendation, and it's a strong recommendation to clients, is if it's a permanent fixture, keep it neutral. But anything else, you can do what you like to your taste. That can easily be changed. And yes, you can go and paint your walls red.
So it's become a myth because people rightly thought the fixtures should be neutral, but that didn't mean everything. That
100%.
didn't mean make the whole place neutral and all beige furniture.
100%.
You know I'm serving my clients from a beat up Honda to a luxury ride. Now it's time to
Thank
go
you,
sell
Vipul,
some
for
houses.
setting us straight. And thank you, everyone, for listening in. I'm Wendy Clare of Juge Interiors. Join us next week for our next episode of Meet the Agent podcast.
This is my life. It's for the buyer.